Okay guys, so we just got done watching the Antilles Extraction preview. Everyone saw Star Wars Episode 3, Darth Maul Returns. It was really, for me, it was nice to see Darth Maul come back. And one of the reasons that I really like seeing him, first of all, he looked a little bit, he looked really, really young. Like, he did a good job playing everybody in that season, near the end of season 2 last year when he met Ezra and he looked like an old man. He was just kind of slowly walking around gingerly with the old cane and everything. Now he just looks like he is fit. He is, he looks a lot stronger. He looks like about maybe 10 years and fell off of his age. But one of the things that I really wanted to hint on was, Ezra's still dealing with his connection to the dark side in this episode, and you could still see it. He was still trying to struggle with fully gaining that trust again in Kaden. And when he went into that cave, that was a new building point for them. There was a new implicit trust that was established between them with those creatures that Ezra just couldn't seem to believe that maybe if he didn't attack them, they wouldn't attack him. That maybe they fed off of his energy and his reaction, and that was maybe what caused them to go off the rails sometimes. But man, Kaden is really starting to look like a master Jedi, isn't he? He has been, every episode, it seems like, he's kind of, building that connection to the Force more, starting to trust in his abilities and in his sight, which is another thing I wanted to touch on. I know I'm kind of going all over the place here, but, it was just, I'm trying to make sure that I get all of this in. Man, did they kind of materialize the Force at the end of the episode when Ezra was sitting with Darth Maul and Kaden kind of saw everything that was going on? You kind of saw like this building light, and then you saw particles and sparkly stuff all around them. And I'm wondering, did they kind of materialize the Force, make it something that he could actually see and connect with on some form with his sight? We've never seen anyone, we've never seen a Jedi that was we've never been able to see sight like that through a Jedi. I mean, of course, there are characters who've maybe not had use of their eyes in Star Wars. I mean, especially with Donnie Yen being a Force user, Donnie Yen's character being a Force user in Rogue One, maybe not being a Jedi or, being able to use a lightsaber, but certainly someone who believes in the Force and, and obviously can connect with it in some form. But I felt like there was really a materialization of the Force right there. I don't know how I feel about that, just because, we've never had, actually seen the Force. We've seen what people who believe in the Force can do, but we've never actually seen the Force. It's always been like kind of the background is something that, of course is believed in, but it's never been like material. Except maybe, if you count the Force ghosts, but I'm not really sure those can be counted as like a materialization of the Force. Because those are people who, before they died, were highly ingratiated into the Force. The Force was part of them. They believed wholly in the Force. So maybe, after their years of training and connectivity and after reaching a certain prowess in their Jedi skills, maybe they were able to come back, utilize the Force, and come back in some shape or form to help those later on. We might even see a Force ghost in Episode 8. Who knows? But one of the things that I mentioned that I loved before about Rebels is the continuous building of this universe. And we certainly saw, for probably the second or third time, we saw something that referenced completely the Star Wars universe, A New Hope, at the end when Ezra said twin sons. Look at that. We know he's talking about Tatooine. And then Darth Maul went all bitch at the end and was like, the guy who cut me in half lives. And you know, he ran off to his ship, and I guess he's headed to Tatooine to look for ObiWan. Now there was a little bit of a story. It's not canon, but there was a story, some foreshape in the history where Darth Maul did touch down on Tatooine, and he was looking for ObiWan, and he actually ended up on the Lars estate, and he was looking for ObiWan, and ObiWan came like out of the sand, and they started fighting. And then, you know, somewhere along the way, Lars shot him in the head. Now, I don't know if that's going to become a part of Star Wars Rebels. We may see it, we may not. But I think we're definitely going to get ObiWan. I think we're going to get ObiWan, and that is beautiful. Love ObiWan's character. Who doesn't? He's just like that lovable father. And then in the original Star Wars trilogy, like a very powerful grandfather. So it's great that I think we're gonna get ObiWan, guys. So keep your eyes open for that. But you know, not a lot's really you know, going on with Hera and Sabine and you know, and Zeb in that episode. Just them trying to get away from Darth Maul. The ways that they did it, the ways that they utilized their ingenuity was pretty cool. But at the end of the day, you know, if a Sith or a Jedi wants to find you, there's really no getting away. I think we've seen that time and time again in the Star Wars universe. So, you know, that's just that review, guys. Yeah, definitely some great stuff. We got to see more of the Bendu. He's always in the middle. But, you know, one of the things I wonder, if like Darth Maul or Vader, you know, comes in contact with the Bendu, would he help them the way that he kind of helped Kanan and Ezra? I mean, when they went in, you know, he was kind of like, you know, if they die or get eaten, such is the way of things. But, you know, would he be so inclined to help Vader and Maul the same way? Because, you know, he is in the middle. He has such knowledge of the Force. And, you know, we can only guess how old he is. So he's maybe seen you know, maybe he's been able to connect and tell people about the formation of the Sith or, you know, the Jedi Republic. I mean, because the history of the Bendu is not canon anymore, but, you know, the history of the Bendu, they've been around, and Plagueis had some of their, you know, he had connection to their history. He had, you know, actual documents of their history, which, you know, not a lot, which was very rare in the universe, and certainly I think helped him become, you know, one of the most powerful Sith of that time. But, you know, that's just my review, some of my reaction to things. I'll be watching the Antilles extraction tonight. I hope you do also. NS Nation, stand up.
That's not a piece of cake!
Here we go. I cannot wait. This is going to be so awesome.